The trial of Robert Tellis, it continues on, and he had some very interesting testimony this last week. By the time you're watching or listening to this, there may already be a verdict as it is starting to wrap up. But we're going to examine some of this case because it has been fascinating to watch. Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, joining us to discuss this guy. And I know you've been watching some video. He's an odd duck.
Yeah, this is one of those cases where as soon as he took the stand, my first thought was, who's his defense attorney letting him do that?
Yeah.
It almost kind of struck me very much like Lori Del Vallo's defense
Mhm.
attorney that's like, "Hey, you want it? Have at it." All you're
Yeah.
gonna do is sink your own ship. So that was my first impression because as I'm watching it, and I had to only watch it in clips, Tony, and I know we're going to watch some clips
Yeah.
here in a second. Because I don't even know what your thoughts are on it, but I'll just, I had impressions of this, and I'm always going with what's my reaction and then what's causing my reaction. And
Mhm.
so my reaction was I had to keep turning it off.
Yeah.
And why? Well, I didn't find him likable.
Not at all.
That's not good if you're gonna put someone on the stand.
No.
And then we look at, well, what makes someone likable and unlikable?
Mhm.
And so one of the biggest things is authenticity,
Yeah.
genuineness, the ability to own your behavior and not try to prove everyone else in the world wrong around you.
Mhm.
Those are bad behaviors if you're trying to say, I'm innocent of this.
I know we use the term narcissist a lot because it feels like a lot of the people who make it this far and make it to the show are quite narcissistic
They're
personality
broken
disorder
toys.
individuals,
Yes.
not just tendencies. He's like the definition of it. I mean, he was trying to defend himself, then he got an attorney. I don't think his attorney agreed with what he's doing right now because he's not being questioned. It's an alibi defense. He's just up there sharing his narrative in any way he wants. The judge let him do this because the attorney basically said, "I want nothing to do with this. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to. I can't ask you these questions because I disagree with your answers, and it's not going to go anywhere." So he's up there on his own because he thinks that much of himself, that much of his story, and that people are just going to like it. Because gosh darn it, people like me. It
Yeah, I
is
know you got SNL
yeah.
on your mind.
He's got that kind of aura to him, and it's fascinating. It's a train wreck to watch, but the
Yeah.
more you watch him and the more you think of it from that perspective of this guy believes whatever he says is gold, and people should just accept it. And there's even a lot of weird um braggadocious moments in his testimony
Yeah.
which have nothing to do with the case.
No, it was really fascinating having him get up there, and the first things he does is he lays a pattern of his background. I mean, I got bored with him in like the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's laying down his credibility of being so awesome. And first of all, it all starts out with me, 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 me. So
Mhm.
someone has died and a jury's judging you on whether you're guilty or innocent. And the first thing you want to do is not make it about you. You
Mhm.
need to make it about the victim. You need to make it about a jury. You need to make it about everyone else but yourself. You have to be contrite. You have to show remorse. Not that you did it, but remorse for the victims in this, right? And then the other thing he said at the very beginning of this, which I found fascinating, as then he laid it all out, was I've been in jail. Me, me, me. I've been in jail a long time sitting about this. I had a lot of time to think and come up with a lot of schemes as to what I think. And so
Yes.
and then he lays out this really complicated to me. Remember, if it's complicated, it's probably not right.
Sure. And the jury's
Because
not gonna get it either.
no, he lost me, and I'm trying to understand him. I tuned him out. So he actually says, I've been sitting in jail with a lot of time to think and come up with a really good reason as to why someone else did this. And then I looked up the stats for the number of times. Again, it's hard to find a hard number on this, but number of times that actually people are framed, the percentage of it.
Mhm.
I think what was it, 5 to 10%, and that's the Innocence Foundation. The people are
The
trying
Innocence
to,
Project, yeah.
yeah, Project Innocence trying to acquit, or got retrial of
Yeah.
other
Peterson.
moron. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peterson out there in California. It's 2 to 5% of convictions were framing. So he's battling the odds against him. And then When you have DNA involved,
And that's not all, folks.
I know.
We have DNA, we have video of surveillance footage from multiple places. We have all the evidence at his house. We have his digital footprint of what he was looking up and searching for. I mean, this would be one hell of a frame job if it's a. I mean, it's just too far out there to even be in the realm of it even being a physical possibility of being a frame job.
And then he puts himself on the stand
Yeah.
and has become extremely unlikable because he has a massive superiority complex. He thinks he's better and smarter than everyone else in that entire room, even arguing with the judge.
Yeah, it clearly comes across. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.